Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today on the film Exorcist, we're going to be interviewing JD, the tiny one-man band of SIZEplay Productions. So before we start, why don't you tell the people about yourself, JD?
Well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. My name is JD. I've been a producer in the Size community now for only about 2-3 months, so I'm fairly new in terms of producing content. However, I've been following the Size community as more of a consumer role for about 12-13 years now. It's pretty cool to see the producing side of the industry versus the consumer side. You really get to know the models and the industry and how it works and how the fantasy comes to life. So far, so good.
Okay, and before we get to the questions, I'd just like to announce that the channel is once again supported by Animal. So go buy yourself some amazing low-priced anime merch, including cute figurines to brighten up your collection. And I assume they're about the size of JD here. And every time you use the code FILM, you'll get 5% off your purchases. So go buy something either for me, JD, or something about his size. Now, let's get on to the questions. So, how did you get into the Size community, or when did you first realize you were into SIZEplay?
Honestly, when I was younger, just watching movies that had size-related scenes in it, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. There was an episode from Adventures of Sinbad that had a shrinking sequence. And I don't know, it just, one random day I decided, I wonder if this is a thing like on YouTube or, back then I don't really think there was much of a Facebook or Twitter. I'm talking about like 2007, 2008, around there. And, just by Googling, I was able to find a few sites that had this type of content and a few, YouTube previews. And I would just, search online, and I didn't think it was an actual community, but there's that, and there was actually content out there. So over time it's grown, and now there's a convention and all this other stuff. So it's pretty cool to see it grow and become something much bigger, pun intended.
It truly is. Now, second question. What would you say your favorite scenarios are, and also if you could imagine your own, what would it be?
You're talking more on like a personal basis?
Yeah.
Honestly, I just like the whole, and actually it's funny you bring that up, because I've been following this new author, Amber Collins, on Amazon. And she has a ton of work out there, a ton of stories, a ton of scenarios. And there was one particular one that caught my eye, which was, I think it's called like A Session Underfoot or something like that. And it really goes into detail about the process of transitioning from a normal sized person to a tiny. And that whole detailed process, that's pretty much like, I'd say 80 or 90% of the story. And there really hasn't been a story that I feel like that's gone that into detail about it. And just, playing those power dynamics. There's, you have the strong male now reduced to nothing more than just like an inch or two tall. And, that transition. And that type of scenario where it's like detailed about the transition and the power change, I think is something I look for in a specific scenario.
So I'm guessing you were a pretty big fan of, I believe it was called The Incredible Shrinking Woman?
I actually didn't see the full movie. I only saw bits and pieces here and there, but I did see The Incredible Shrinking Man. So, yeah, I'm familiar with that, the whole slow process. I don't know, to me it's pretty cool and kind of overlooked at times in the industry. But hopefully, you know, as I create more and more content, I look to try and get some more of that specific scenario or power exchange type deal, you know, shown in content.
All right. Now for the third one, what would you say your biggest fetish is inside and outside of the SIZEplay community?
Just the idea of, personally, just the idea of, I would say, an empowered, you know, dominant woman. That's just me, though. Other than, you know, obviously, you know, Giantess and shrinking and all that, I would say that is sort of the out of the realm of the size community. And inside, I would say Giantess and shrinking and all of that.
So you'd say you were a masochist in a way?
I'm still trying to figure that one out, to be honest. Again, it's only fairly recently that I really opened up about my fetish. You know, for years, I always kept it to myself. You know, I talked about when I first started looking into it back in, like, you know, 12, 13 years ago. It wasn't until, I'd say, SizeCon back in February is when I really opened up about it and, you know, really, you know, delved into it and had conversations with people about it. So,
right.
So I'm still, I guess, fairly new to it, I guess you could say, in a way.
Now, to go a bit off script, here's a question that all men can answer around here, or women. I ain't gonna discriminate. Butt or boobs?
Butt, all the way.
Smart man. Because a lot of, you see around there, people are going for thighs, they're going for the, no offense everyone, the strange one of feet, hands, armpits, which I'm not against, boobs, and I'm trying to think of one other.
Vor.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, vor is a subjective one. I'm talking like body parts.
Oh, okay. Well, but yeah, I mean, armpit, that's a new one. I feel like I had, like, just recently, I've been seeing a lot more of that. And, you know, I'm trying to be as diverse as possible when creating the content because, you know, you have some consumers out there that prefer, you know, more of a, you know, butt over boobs or boobs over butt, or they prefer a vor fetish, or they, you know, whatever, or an armpit fetish, you know, whatever it might be. So I try to be as diverse as possible, and I even put surveys out on my Twitter, or even on my OnlyFans or any other site or platform that I have, just to get an idea of what the people are looking for, what my followers are looking for, what they're interested in. Because at the end of the day, you know, we should all be working together. We all have this similarity with this fantasy, this fetish, and I think if we all work together, we can really create, you know, even better content together.
Right. And actually, I think I did definitely bring this up in a more recent video. My Shimonetta anime review, I did kind of say that people like you and me, and Detention, all them, I guess you could kind of say we're fetish warriors trying to protect our beliefs out there, protect our kinks, our fetishes, kind of bring that idea and preserve it, and make it more natural to everyone.
Natural is a good word. Because again, like, I can speak personally about it, like, you know, for years I thought I was the only one that had it. And it turns out I was wrong. You know, there's actually a good amount of people out there that have this type of kink or fetish, and it's just good to know that there's other people out there with it, and we should embrace it and, you know, work together and try to make the best content that we can.
Right. But there are still those wars out there. I mean, people are still getting shit for being a furry.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I don't go around and advertise like in my hometown. I'm not that open with it. I mean, it could just be me, you know. Everyone's different.
Right.
But you know, I definitely hear what you're saying, and I agree. I think, you know, it should be more accepting, and it's a shame that at times it's not, and you know, it is what it is. But you know, it's good to have these conversations. It's good that you have a podcast going. It's good that there's a community on Twitter and they're doing conventions and they're getting the conversation out there, and that's really good. And for anyone listening to this video that is thinking about going to a convention, I highly recommend it, whether it's SpecCon or SizeCon or whatever it is. You know, if you're just curious and, you know, wondering, you know, if you're into it, if you're not into it, if, you know, if there's other people out there, you know, just go. It doesn't hurt. You know, it's not like they're going to, you know, paste your face on a billboard or anything. They're, you know, it's a very accepting and loving community, and, you know, I highly recommend it.
I mean, I don't think there would be many people out there that wouldn't be happy about being on a billboard. I mean, they would be giant-sized.
Yes, indeed, that is true.
Okay, next question. What made you decide to create videos?
Honestly, when I went to SizeCon in February, that was really eye-opening to me. I always thought it was almost impossible to create your own content. Like, how would someone go about doing that? You know, that was always the million-dollar question. And, you know, just going to the convention, they had, you know, a panel of a bunch of content creators who have been doing this sort of work for years. And they opened up about it. And, you know, there were even some content creators there that would, you know, Photoshop you into a Giantess themed picture or short clip or what have you. But you know, just going to the convention and seeing it firsthand, how easy it could be to create content and how welcoming everybody was, you know, I figured, why not give it a shot? You know, this quarantine happened, everyone was stuck inside, including myself. So I figured, I got this extra time on my hands, why not? You know, just pick up a camera and give it a shot, see what happens. And it's starting to pick up. People actually taking notice to it. I've worked with some really good models, anyone from Jasmine Mendez to Queen Gia Love to Megan Jones, to even just some more of the OnlyFans models who are open to fetishes. So, I mean, you know, it's definitely growing. And I hope, you know, over time it, you know, gains more traction and people give me more ideas and I keep creating content and, you know, we all enjoy it together.
Yep. And actually, speaking of that, he did actually invite me to possibly become one of his models. Isn't that right?
True. And, you know, that's another thing, a good point to make is I feel like a lot of the focus is on the female models, but people forget you still need a male model. Especially if you, you know, want to mess around with a green screen and try and get, you know, more of that realistic element to these to this content.
Right.
You know, instead of just a plastic figurine or a POV shot or whatever it is. But yeah, male models. I'm actually looking for some male talent, if there's any out there. I could use, you know, anyone who's interested.
Well, I mean, I think Tor Oralis actually last time gave me some names I could shoot to you.
No, that would be great. That'd be great. I'm definitely open to it, and, you know, and that's the thing, you know, that's what I was trying to drive home is, actually think I tweeted it earlier today. You know, it should be a welcoming community and everyone should be helping one another out. And, by doing this, by, helping out a male model and getting him on the screen and advertising for him, it increases their exposure and, could drive more traffic to their pages. So, again, if there's any male talent that's interested in being in any size content, we're definitely open to it. We have a few candidates at hand, but we're definitely open to accepting anybody who reaches out. DMs are open, and we have our email as well in our bio on Twitter.
You heard it here, guys. Now, next question. And you kind of did answer this at the beginning, but were there any movies that influenced you as a kid, or maybe even today?
I would say definitely Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That was definitely the first. Other than that, I would say Downsized or Downsizing. I forget if it was what verbiage they used.
Yeah, I think it was Downsizing. It was that stupid movie about people just shrinking into a smaller city.
Yes, with Matt Damon. Yeah, that was another one that came out recently. I'm trying to think some of the other ones.
Arrietty?
Well, I'm sorry?
Maybe Arrietty, if you've ever seen that?
I actually didn't, but I gotta write that one down. I'm not too familiar with anime, but although I should be, from what I hear, there's a lot of size content that's out there.
Yes and no. I mean, there is the superheroes, there's the giant women that have started popping up, like in my more recent video, Monster Girl Doctor, with the off-brand looking protagonist female giant. But then again, there's also Disney with their little ideas out there.
Yeah, Disney has quite a few. Despicable Me was another one. Like, you have some of those sized elements in there.
I can only remember the one giant or tiny minion.
Well, yeah, the first movie. I know they made a bunch more. I mean, the Ant Bully. Pixar, I think, has really touched on that subject.
I don't remember Pixar doing
really,
it.
really dabbled in it. Come to think of it.
Yeah, I think for Pixar, the closest thing I can think of is Toy Story in a way.
Yeah, Toy Story is a good one.
They were gonna do that one giant movie, the Gigantic, that's what it was called, but that got canceled. Sadly, we may never see a new female giant hanging out with Jack.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Movies pop up. Like, they're going to be making another Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
That's what I heard.
And they got, I forget the actor's name.
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis, yes. They got Rick Moranis to play. And the one guy from Frozen who played
Olaf?
Snowman. Yes, him.
Yeah, I can't remember that guy's name either.
I know.
And he's so famous out there.
Yeah.
He does so many of the funny little characters.
Yeah. Talented. I'm just curious how it's all going to work out. You know?
Yeah, with Disney right now, they may screw it up. No offense to them. Actually, it's funny, the other size people that I've had on here actually have never mentioned Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Wow.
They've all mentioned Arrietty, they've all mentioned Ant Bully, The Incredible Shrinking Woman. I'm blanking on the other ones. Gulliver's Travels, the original. But I'm also noticing no one has mentioned that one Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, that's another one. That's what I'm saying. There's so many out there. Fern Gully, that's another one that has some size element.
True. Damn it, there's so many nature ones that I can't think of. I guess you could say Ants, the movie.
Oh, Ants?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ants. That's another one. Ant Bully, Ant-Man.
I mean, for that one, the best scene out of that was the little rave scene.
Yeah.
Which I've always thought, or wanted to see, like, damn it. Him in the shower, but then a woman finds him. Kind of like a Psycho meets Ant-Man. Now that would be funny.
They might make another one, you never know.
Oh, they definitely will make another Ant-Man.
Another one is Charmed. They had a few episodes.
I don't think I've seen the original Charmed.
I think what else? Dude, how about Dude, Where's My Car?
Technically, yes. A giant alien.
At the end, yeah.
I wanna ride that too, Daddy. Me too, son. Me too. Hey.
But it's come a long way. Size content, even in movies and TV shows. I'm sure a lot more will be coming out soon.
Question 6. Who's your favorite Giantess or Tiny writer or artist?
Oh, man. That's a really good question.
I mean, we could also add models into there and make it a bit of a competition between the ones that you've worked with.
I would honestly say for writers, Amber Collins is a big one. She has a good amount of stories that I've read. Abergin, I think his name is. I don't know. I never know how to pronounce it, but I met him at SizeCon. He's a very nice man. I've read his work over the years. My favorite work by him is Blood Magic. It's actually on Giantess World.
I don't think I've seen that one on there.
It's really good. It was on there like years back. And then I think it was taken down, and then I couldn't find it. And then years later, maybe a year or two later, it was re-uploaded. I was like, oh my God, I remember this story. And then when I saw him in person, I recognized his name tag. And I went up to him and, told him, I love the Blood Magic. It was a really, really good story. He was a little startled. So I'd say that for writers. Models, I should have mentioned before with fetishes outside the size community, hypnosis. And
yes.
Mesmerization, very underrated topic in this community. And I actually brought it up at the convention both times. At the convention in February and the one in July, August. So I actually put a lot of custom orders in with this one particular model. Her name is Emily Valentina. She's on Twitter and I Want Clips and practically every other platform. Many videos, clips for sale, all that. And she specifically focuses on hypnosis and mesmerization. And, there's a few different synonymous terms that go along with it. But anyways, about 5 years ago, she released a size-related hypnosis video. And I gave it a shot. And honestly, it was out of this world. Crazy experience. I loved it. And, I kept ordering customs with her. And I've known her now 5 years. And You know, she keeps putting out size content. Her and also Goddess Nova, I would say. If you're ever looking for like a hypnosis size related video, I would look at those two. And the thing about Goddess Nova, this is actually pretty cutting edge. She put virtual reality and hypnosis together for the size custom that I put in, and it came out phenomenal. I think it came out really good. So, you know, it's just one of those things with the technology. Again, you know, it's advancing, and it's just interesting to see the fantasy come more and more to life. It's you know, it's really interesting where things are going to be down the line. Sorry if I went off on a tangent.
No, you're fine. Actually, there was one I found that did work about as well as you're saying. Her name was Shibby Says, SHIBBYSAYS. It's like a 45-minute video, and it puts you out. Like, she spends all this time calming your nerves, implanting all these ideas, and then gets right into it.
Yeah, I think that was the one. It might be on. I want to say that's the one that's on Reddit.
It is on Reddit. I found it on some audio thing.
I can't remember, but if there's a size hypnosis file out there, I've definitely seen it.
Well, I'd like to see some of the ones that you mentioned.
They're good, and they're out there. They're actually all over the clip sites, Clips for Sale and everything. And actually, that's the type of content, that category, I want to create next. So far, I only have one video that kind of dabbles with it, and that's with Goddess Kitty. She actually lives in the UK, and we've been, you know, back and forth over the years. But she made a video for my production studio. I edited it a little bit, but she did most of the editing. I just put some finishing touches on it, and it's actually on our sites. So you could go check that out. Give us some feedback, you know, whatever it is. You like it, you dislike it. And yeah, you know, we're definitely open to any suggestions and feedback. So.
I mean, it is a really hard thing to find out there, the hypnosis aspect.
Yes, it is. But, you know, once you find the right one that works, then it, you know, I think it's good.
Now, for my 7th question, I think you definitely already answered it. It was about if you've ever been to SizeCon, so I'm gonna change it around, and I'm gonna ask you, what was your favorite booth, and what activities you enjoyed there?
Not a very exciting answer. I actually hung around the booth with his Twitter handle and his DeviantArt is M31. He pretty much did a bunch of like small collages. Well, I shouldn't just say small, but he did all different types of collages with any of the models and any of the con goers, if they were interested, of course. And just to see it firsthand how he would edit these collages. And the booth next to him was Captain Rand. I don't think he's on Twitter, but he's definitely on
DeviantArt?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure DeviantArt, something like that. Captain Rand was there, and he was doing a lot of the customs. And it would only be like a 10, 15-second clip where you could edit yourself in. Of course, he wouldn't share it with the rest of the world and make it just exclusive to you, but it was interesting, again, to see the fantasy come to life. I also went to their panel, got a little bit of a taste of, you know, some of the methodologies behind, you know, creating this content, doing the collages, making the videos, and yeah, it just piqued my interest, and that's really what, I guess, influenced me. And also meeting the models there. Yeah, of course, you would get to, you know, go to the booths where the models are, where you see them in size clips or collages before, and you see them in real life. It's it's pretty cool to meet them and get a quick picture with them.
Right. Now, finally, the last question, sadly. Let's talk about your videos. What can people expect next from you?
So, have quite a bit in queue or process right now. I definitely have more Jasmine Mendez content coming out. Megan Jones content will be coming out soon as well. More Autumn Bodell. She was very, very helpful when I was just getting started. She taught me the ropes. I also want to try and get a few hypnosis or mesmerize files out there, and see if it takes. Some people will like it, some people won't. But why not give it a shot and see if people are interested. There's going to be more content on our I Want Clips store on the website. There's going to be more content on our OnlyFans. We're actually running promotions right now for the holiday season. We got some great deals up to 50% off with our bundles, depending how long you want to subscribe. And our clips for sale, we almost have up. We just need one more clip to upload, and our clips for sale store will be opening soon. So there's a lot of content coming, and I promise you that. It's just it's a lot of work when you're doing it by yourself. So it'll be coming soon.
Right. Now, I'm trying to think of more. Maybe I should talk about my story, one of my upcoming stories. It's called Mama's Little Man. It's actually a work in progress right now. It may not be out by Christmas due to classes and school, maybe after school ends. I don't want to ruin anything for it. It's a rarely done concept that you only see sometimes on writer.com, but it might be one of my best stories out there. I do have a possible collab going on right now with a buddy from SIZECon, it might be a vor story. We're still talking about it, and like we said, if our buddy here, JD, decides he needs me as a model, we can discuss it, because I am very much interested.
All right. No, yeah, we're like I said, we're open to any male talent that's open to being in our size content. It's always open. The door is always open for any talent. Always remember that. We like to embrace everybody and keep it diverse and help one another out. Because again, we all like the same fantasy. We're all on the same page. We all want to see our business or content thrive and succeed. So the door is always open for anybody who's interested or has questions or whatever the case might be.
Right. And also, if possible, for February, if SizeCon is still on, maybe you'll see me and JD there. He could possibly be my ride there, as we've discussed, since actually the funny thing is, me and him are very close here in New Jersey.
Yes, not far at all.
Like maybe an hour.
Yeah, not far at all. And of course, if you need a ride, I could always swing by.
Or say we could be roommates during our time going to the con.
Well, hopefully I don't have to work that weekend.
Same. If not, I'll have to take off another day from work.
Fingers crossed.
Yep. So, yeah.
Any more questions for me? Or
not that I can find on the sheet, and not that I can think of.
All right, well, as always, thank you very much for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's a good opportunity and great to network. And, I'm glad that you reached out. And if you ever need another person to podcast, doors open.
Oh, trust me, we will.
Yeah, definitely definitely keep in touch. And again, the door is always open. So thank you again for everyone's time and listening in. And tune in. Till next time.
And don't forget to check the description, guys. All the links will be down there. We'll also have pictures that our good friend Silva will be putting on this video if you'd like to see some of the content that JD does, and we'll definitely have him down in the description. And don't forget all my social media, and maybe Silva's will be down in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week for more anime. Have a great night.